there, welcome back. Josh Hardy here with Hardy Brothers Outdoors. I'm standing here with my John Deere 2032R, and today I wanted to talk to you about 5 things that you should not leave the dealership without. That's my opinion, and I left with some of them and without some of them. And then I'm gonna throw in a couple extra bonus ones there at the end. All right, let's talk about the first two. First two are all about adding stability to the tractor. So I highly recommend getting the wheel spacers. I got the 3-inch wheel spacers at the time of purchase. I think they actually had to order them, and they put them on back when they, a couple weeks later, once they had my backhoe in. So wheel spacers, definitely gonna add to your overall stability. The next one I didn't do, and I wish I had. So I'm either gonna figure out how to do it myself, or next time I have it in for service, I'm going to do it, which is have the rear tires filled. I didn't do it because I was worried about it rutting up my yard, and I wanted to make sure that I could still mow with this mower without creating big ruts in the yard. All right, number 3, the dual SCV, so the dual hydraulics on the back. I had the backhoe, so mine came with Power Beyond, but I didn't realize the need for the dual SCV until later when I bought the offset flail ditch bank mower that I used to mow around the pond. And that was about $1,000, I think, to add to it. But I think the reality is, if you're buying a tractor and you're planning on using it for a lot of varied uses, you may not even know what they are yet. Go ahead and at the time of purchase, go ahead and have those added in. And the fourth one is an iMatch quick hitch. So I bought the iMatch, probably just as good to get a quick hitch from somewhere else, but I'll talk about why I do the iMatch as a possible choice. If you're a first-time tractor buyer, or if you have a tractor, you're probably familiar with how painful it is to hook up attachments to the back. So that quick hitch really makes it easy to pick up stuff like your tiller, your rotary mower. There's a number of attachments that I use, the box blade, all of those work with the quick hitch. Now, I've heard plenty of people say, don't use the iMatch, use something from Tractor Supply or Titan or somewhere else, and you won't have to add the bushings that the iMatch requires. So some of the challenges there with proprietary parts from John Deere. The fifth thing that I would say, and don't forget, I have a couple more that I'm going to throw in at the end. One that I say add, or maybe 2, and one to if you're on the fence, I'll help you with kind of my point of view on it. So the fifth one is get all the attachments that you think you're going to need in the next 2 years, 3 years, especially if you've got 0% financing. So I financed this for 7 years, 0%. I had to put down, I think, $3,000. The reality is I negotiated it as a cash deal. They didn't change the price when I went with their financing. I just had to put down a deposit. So John Deere is one of the few that can afford to do 0% financing. I know everybody says it's in the price, but if you negotiate the price without telling them that, and the price doesn't go up, then either you didn't get a good enough negotiated cash price, or they've made allowances in there to sell more tractors, right? They're gonna make it up in volume. So what is some of those attachments that you should consider? For me, one of the ones that I went back and purchased later was the iMatch. So I didn't put it in on the 0%. Forks, I went back and got forks from John Deere, or a set of Frontier forks. And so I use those all the time. And there's a number of other attachments that I've bought. I bought a lot of mine from Tractor Supply. There's lots of videos in our library that you can check those out. So I mentioned that I'd talk about a few things in addition to the core 5. Don't leave this dealership without a John Deere hat, right? You're spending $30-some thousand. Ask for a hat. Explain to them if they say that they can't throw in a hat, that's a separate department or whatever, that you want to be a brand ambassador for John Deere, and it's in their best interest to have you wear their brand proudly and everywhere you go. Ask for that. We call that nibbling as you're working on your deals. Don't be annoying about it, but you should definitely expect that they can throw in a $20 hat, which costs them $5. The other one is the steering wheel knob. I'm not even sure what those actually cost because Jason got me mine as a gift, but I love it. You know, so the little turn crank on there, the little knob is a great thing to throw in. The last thing that I'm going to say, if you're on the fence for, there's two other things that I bought, actually two things that I bought that I may or may not repeat if I did it again. So let me show you those. The first one, if you're on the fence, is the, what do they call it? I think it's the single connect or the fast connect hydraulic connector. So there's 4 connectors here, pops in, pops out, real easy on the front end loader. Do I like it? I do like it. It's convenient. It's not as messy, but here's what I don't like about it. A couple things. One, when I've taken off my front end loader before, I've had it maybe not line up perfectly or it sagged a little bit with the hydraulics. And when I came back trying to get this to reach, it was very difficult to get it to reach. I had to have a second person there. Jason had to be there to help me move and budge the front end loader. So any sag or whatever could cause this to be, too far away to reach. Whereas with the hoses, I think you'd have a little bit more flexibility because there's not a hard connection here. So the other thing about that is I've only taken this thing off 2 or 3 times because of that reason. Generally, I just drop the bucket or the forks and leave the front end loader on. So if you're on the fence with that, maybe put your money somewhere else, unless you think you're going to be storing the front end loader a lot. The last thing that I'll say that I bought that I'm not sure I couldn't have done myself was the premium LED package. It came with 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5th one on the back pointing to my backhoe. And I gotta say, I like them a lot. I want to say they might have been somewhere between $200 and $300. When I light this thing up, I can be mowing at 9 o'clock at night or coming through the woods late at night, and it's like Yankee Stadium. So it's pretty nice. But I think those are some things that maybe aftermarket you could add cheaper. Again, back to the 0% financing. If you're doing it at that time, 7 years, it's not going to change your payment very much to add a few things in. So those are the key elements. I love my 2032R. If you haven't seen my review on it, I call this the most versatile tractor out there. Jason has the 1025R. We have the 4052R as well. I love this tractor. It does everything I want it to do. Would I have liked the 2038R? Yes, but I'll save the rest of it for you if you want to check the review that I did on the 2032. So thank you for watching. Hit that like and subscribe. Click that little bell icon so that you can see when we release other videos. We do 3 videos a week, usually a tractor video, something around habitat, sawmills, and other things around the property. So look forward to seeing you next time. Please hit that like button and that subscribe. Thanks a lot. See you next time.